Alright, yesterday afternoon I got this trigger positioned. I drew the outline of where this trigger went up through here and where this hole is for the pivot on this trigger. And I've got it in place, but the position of that trigger is critical to making this thing function, because that little trigger, that forward leaf of that trigger has to slide inside of the back of this, that little U shape right there. So when you put it together, it has to go in and back. And so you have to pull the trigger forward to keep it up in line to lock this thing in. And it goes in and slides back. And if it's in there, you won't have much play, you won't have much travel on that trigger. And once I get it in place, because this wood is a little fat, there's too much wood here for this to bottom out. I've only got about 1.5 threads of holding power, which is enough to do this. That's got it securely in place. Now, your bolt works. There's an extractor down inside there, a little claw. Kind of hard to see it, right up in there. And it's a manual extractor. You have to push it, pull it with your finger. Later on in years, they made extractors that were spring-loaded, automatic. But this one you have to pull back, like so. All right, then when you close your bolt, you have to manually cock the firing pin, like so, and then your trigger releases it. And there's very little play in that trigger. For this early of a gun, they were pretty bad about having a lot of slop in them. This one works. So mechanically it works. Mechanically it's in good shape. Now I just got to do the cosmetic, pull the sides down and shape it. And it fits in there snugly. I'm not going to bed this, there's no point in a little 22 short. But I'm trying to make this one about as accurately as an early made gun would be. There's no butt plate, you just round that off. Very, very simple machine. Thank you, John Browning. I have marked how thick this wrist is. Got me some scratch lines up there. I'm going to get rid of this trigger. That's the reason I left this pin sticking out, so I could get rid of it, because I have to do some shaping on this wood. This is not as easy as it used to. With a replaced shoulder 3 weeks ago, I can't push with this left hand. Nope. May not be able to do this. It's amazing how much you miss a body part when you're used to having one and it's not quite the same as it used to be. about as far as I can go with a grinder. Still about a 1/16 of an inch fat right there. Should give me enough room to rest it down with this block. Still got my center line, top and bottom. I'm still keeping equidistant both sides from that line. Well, it's been 3 weeks ago today they did a complete shoulder replacement. My therapist says I'm a little bit ahead of where I should be. He probably don't know I'm doing this as rehab though, but I'm not doing much of it. Mostly I'm one-handed the last few days. Slows things down a little, but as long as you're moving in the right direction, I guess, right? A little flat, jagged line right there where the bandsaw cut it out, and my pencil line is still on that little tiny flat. That's my center line. I've left it. When I flip it upside down, work this in, I'll erase that line, but in the meantime, it's telling me how to keep these sides symmetrical. When I first cut this blank out, I knew there was a little sapwood right in here. I also knew that I'd be taking that down some, so I would lose more of it with every few thousandths I took off. I'd lose that much sapwood, but I had no idea that this grain would be so pretty in here. And that's one of the joys of working with wood. It's like I'm the first person that ever saw that. 8.5 billion people in this world, and I'm the Columbus that discovered that. A friend of mine milled lumber for me for about 30 years. He looked at milling logs the same way. Every board that he would cut on the way back from one end of the mill to the other, he'd take his hand, just run down it like that, and knock the dust off of it. He said, I'm the first person to see that. I have a friend, he's 12 years old, he got an injury to his arm, set up an infection, he lost his arm, his left arm. He's gainfully employed, didn't seem to be an ounce of bitterness in him. He's a little younger than me, he's still working. Uses a computer one-handed, shoots a gun, rides a mountain bike, rides a road bike. I'm telling you, times like this, I think about Stephen a lot. He's basically my hero right now.